Hi guys, welcome. I just did a video for you on a video on the computer. And then I went to go check. And the other one was 7 seconds. This one was 2223. For some reason, the video, I can't access it. It doesn't want to play. So, and it's not because of process time. It just, some videos are like that. Okay. So nothing I can do there. So I'm just going to go over this reading real quick for you. Okay. It's definitely, I've had this deck for a while. I was just waiting for the right time to use it. I haven't done the 5-card spread yet. That was like the first time I did it for you through interpretation. To do a short spread would be 12 cards. Actually, I think it ends up being 16, 3, 6, 8 and 8, 16, 3, 6, 9. So I'm just in my head. Okay. So, hi. I'm like wicked bummed that this happened. I almost want to start a new one for you, but then I'm like, well, this one's still pretty relevant, you know? So with the first card, it's usually the theme or it's something faded. Okay. The second card talks about crossroads, hidden forces. Actually, not crossroads. It's more, well, hidden forces. Okay. It could be spirit. It could be a friend. It could be a person. Somebody who's there, wants to help empower you or transform a certain situation. Then the third card would be like the crossroads, the choice. Are you going to step into this or not? So one aspect in your life will transform or empower you. It could be something that needs more time. These cards that are laid out, there's nothing here about resting or needing more time. Okay. Off. When it comes to the fourth card, it's something you're going to mourn or let go of, or it's a big release. Okay. The fifth card talks about looking at all your opportunities. You know, if somebody invites you, that's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to create for yourself. It's that type of stuff. Okay. So I could have just used a regular playing deck, but I decided to use the Gypsy Witch deck because it gives us a lot more information that is pretty specific. Did I say that right? To the reading. So it's not up for interpretation. Like, you really can't fuck with it. You know, it's pretty clear. So whatever is fated for you guys, when the ship is near, the ship is a symbol of riches, and when it's near indicates wealth by inheritance or trade. It also foretells a voyage. This is the hidden forces, crossroads. Okay. To me, it's more hidden forces. It's either the spirit around you, a friend around you, a person that wants to empower you. It also talks about like something has to be transformed. Okay. So the third card is the crossroads. It's the choice. Are you going to step into this or a different aspect of your life? Because it's going to happen no matter what, right? Again, the fourth card is what we mourn. Once again, what we have to let go of, or some type of release. You can't control it. And the fifth card is rebirth. So I will tell you, with your second card, when it comes to your crossroads and that energy being around you, this says, the bride ensures for a single person the fulfillment of their highest aims when near. If distant, turbulent marriage. It's right next to a good card. So this overweighs that. This is the choice in regards to that. It says the raptors warn us against assaults which threaten and will occur sooner than later according to the distance from the person. Well, it's not far, okay? So that's whatever this is going to happen. You don't have control over it. It is going to happen. It's just going to be sooner or later, and it wants to come into your reading, okay? So again, The raptors warn us against assaults, which threatens and will occur sooner than later according to distance from the person. So now what we're mourning with the fourth card, you have the key. But if the key is nearby a certain butchering that, of success. If the key nearby is a certain, sign of success, but surrounded by unlucky cards, the procrastination is illness. So it's a tie here because you have two cards here that are good and the two cards not so great. And I will read this one so you understand why not so great. The lily forecasts a happy life, but family sorrow if surrounded by clouds. So it's like, whew, no clouds, right? Sign of relief. But lying above the person, which would be up here, is like a vigorous life. If it's under, it indicates immortality. Okay, so there might be a death here by illness that could take somebody out this week. It could be a family member. It's going to happen sooner or later. So it might be a topic this week, when you're talking about health, that type of stuff. This sometimes is a witch. This sometimes is a wish. And then it talks about a great voyage. So if you do plan on getting married or, commitment, this and that, but it talks about the single person. So for me, this would be more catching a bouquet at somebody else's wedding. And it's like they say, like, if you catch it, you're the next one to get married. So you might be the next one to get married within your friend group or like within, before anybody else gets married that you would know of. But again, this is your choice, but this is relating more to this. And you have immortality here too. So there is a death. We did talk about a death coming up in a previous read I did. Some of these cards can be gory. Yes, they have negative meanings, but so doesn't tarot. This is just more specific. Oh dear Lord. Specific. This is just more specific. Oh, fucking Lord, help me. So there is a death that's probably going to occur definitely sooner or later. To me, I don't think this would be a surprise. This would be an illness that you're already aware of that somebody has, and you can't stop it. So it's like going to the doctor. It's like, well, what next? What next? What next? There's no next in a situation like this. Or it's just death that just happens so quickly. Everyone's just like, what the fuck? Like a brain aneurysm, So, unfortunately that's on the board and we can't avoid it. But this is kind of like confirmation of something I already had spoken of in a previous read in the last few days. But it looks good. You still have good stuff on the board. There's just stuff here that you can't avoid, and it seems to be a center of attention. So it's like you have a choice here. Are you going to, fight this with somebody else that's sick, or are you going to kind of like leave it be because there's hidden forces, spirit, a deceased family member, there's hidden forces already here. Okay, so that is going to happen sooner or later. So you might get to the point, or somebody gets to the point, you find out someone at work like had a heart attack, and you're like, oh my God. And then you find out the next day, like, oh my gosh, the person passed away. Again, this could talk about your everyday happiness. Do you want to be in a relationship? Do you want to be single? Do you want to be married? Like, to me, I would think you'd want to be married if you ever told yourself you would marry or get remarried, whatever the case may be. And it's, you clearly caught somebody's bouquet at a wedding, for those who did. And it's your turn that's next. And you would probably never see it coming unless you're already planning the engagement and the wedding and all that, So your main focus is accepting what is next, and really mourning a situation if it needs to be mourned, and then try to release it the best you can. So maybe you can take care or be a caregiver, whatever the case may be, whatever it's calling for, because you're not going to avoid a death here. You just can't. So if you think you can save somebody that's an addict, and if I only took that phone call when they called, if I, only talked to them last month because I felt this, like, you wouldn't be able to avoid this no matter what. This death would happen regardless. But there is beauty and sunshine also surrounding you. Because if distant, turbulent marriage, it's not distant, right? So this kind of foretells of a death, and it also foretells that you could possibly be getting married. Well, not possibly, it foretells you are going to get married again, or you are going to get married in general. Or you're going to have a second. If you're already married, you might be renewing your vows, or you might be getting remarried a year from now. I mean, this is just this week, but I'm just saying, like, when these cards come out, like, they're pretty on point. You can't twist the definition. So there could be marital problems going on now, and it's just coming to a head, but you do have supportive people, and you are going through a massive transformation in your life right now. Some of you even a dark night of the soul times 2, double whammy, and that's a lot. Okay, so try to stay positive in the midst of what this is. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up, because originally it was just a 22-minute video that will not play. And I had already pre-read it, so it's not going to take me the same amount of time to go through it. But I will do another one tomorrow. I know it doesn't seem like much, only 10 minutes, but a full 5 card can take up to like a half hour, depending on what type of energies are out. And I've had a long day and I'm exhausted. And I've been playing with these cards for a little over an hour. But I did a lot today. I brought our sun back on the table, because that was necessary. We just needed that vibrant sun again. So it was on my ceiling. So a regular reading, is definitely more detailed than what you just got. But again, like I said, I tried to pre-record this, and then I was like, and this is not the first time it's happened to me, and I was like, oh man, like, this really sucks, but again, it just won't give me, it won't, and it was 22 minutes long, and then it says 0, and it's not because it won't process. And then I did a second one, like a 7-second one, just to kind of see, like, what the fuck, so sometimes it just happens. And yes, it's very annoying, and I apologize. It's annoying for me as well, but kind of sucks for you guys in a way, because you don't get the whole step by step as I'm going. But I have to say, I feel like I broke it down pretty well in 12 minutes. I don't think I left anything out. Okay. So it was pretty clear. This sounds like the reading for Gemini, but more detailed. Yeah, these cards, there's no way around it. They don't lie. There's no way around these cards. So I want to stop playing with my playing cards, because it is way different than tarot. Tarot, there's always room for interpretation with gypsy cards, witch cards, just any based off the 1903. Okay. And their goals were so different at that point compared to like our goals, obviously, right? But that's when they started, trying to predict. It's like if you have worked with the Lenormand, this would be easier for you to interpretate. And it tells a story. So maybe tomorrow morning I'll come on and do like a 16 card spread in regards to like whatever we want to touch base on. Maybe we want to touch base on the Pope and find out what's going there, you know? So the first time sounded more like a slapping on the face, shock and stress. Yeah, it's just, it was, yeah, let's just say I broke this down in a very clear way and it's not up for misinterpretation. You know, it is what it is if it's part of your reading. But again, it does feel like it's the collective energy. I am doing a collective read, right? So the month of March is going to be higher death tolls from the previous month or the one after it, for some reason, I'm being told. So we had already suspected that. We had already saw that in tarot. But again, tarot is always up for interpretation. Working with a regular deck of cards with meanings on it or figures or statues or symbols, you know, it's clear cut. There's no room for interpretation. And that's what I do like about these cards. A lot of people do not like these cards, you know, but I do. You know, I can't even tell you how many times I'll be playing 45s or I'll be playing something and I'll be like, oh, it's like I got a whole story in my hand and I'm trying to figure out whose story is this? You know, like who am I reading right now? So, yeah. So we'll do a longer one tomorrow, but I do think I want to take this deck tomorrow and read it on the Pope. Because I have Hawaii written down, I have the Pope, and then it was something else. And we've had the Pope for over a month now, and he's now in the public eye, and he's sick, right? So that might actually be a little hard to interpret now that I think about it, but we can give it a shot. It would be clear cut, but I mean, he's older anyway, so there's you're probably going to see a death card of, you know, sickness but you know, with this deck too, it also matters what cards surround him. Like, because certain cards, like in right here, the third card trumps the second card. And then you got to look at all the other cards and symbols around it. So you can always find a beautiful story that's much more clear with a playing deck. You know? So I want to start playing with those. Just switch it up a little bit. You've loved these cards since your childhood. Yeah, they go way back. Nobody expected these cards to last. But they did. I'm not gassy. That's my chair. See, when I swirl. Oh, now it's making me a liar. Now it's just making me a liar. This happened the other day in a reading. Yeah, it's straight up fucking making me a liar right now. Anywho, at least you guys got a laugh out of it. I think if I was actually a fart by accident, I probably wouldn't even say anything. I would just play it off. I wouldn't be like, oh, excuse me, I just farted. Like, no, I don't see that with me, you know? They had such 100 years ago. Even longer, 1903. 1903. Of course, our goals are a lot different now, so they can be interpreted differently. But yeah. You farted for me. Well, thank you. Because now I'm just swinging around and there's absolutely like no noise. So let me like stand up, sit back down, now turn. Fuck. It's making me a liar, guys. Nothing I can do now. It's out of my hands. So yeah, I do want to start playing with these. I have a couple decks. And I used to just play with them myself. But I'm going to bring them into possibly even your Prophecies of your Modern Day Citrus, even though I didn't want to bring tarot into that channel because I don't need tarot, right? But maybe I can forecast, the predictions like I do, and this can just give us a little something else that maybe we didn't pick up on that I can work off of if I was just do a short read versus a 16 card one, Yeah, astrologers that play with cards would probably like to use these ones too. Not too many. Yeah. So not too many astrologers do cards, but it's like pagans, hoodoo, like that type of energy, like not voodoo. Voodoo is very different. Hoodoo is more just about like the magical essence of creating and spells and good stuff. It's not voodoo. So there's a big difference there as well. But they are based off hoodoo, witchcraft, paganism. It's a fun deck. Again, if you read the Lenormand, it's going to be easier for you to read. I have, I think, a couple Lenormand decks, but I don't think I've ever read them. So therefore it doesn't make it any easier for me. I can add tarot into the numbers, but it's not really supposed to be read like that. But you can use your talents and your gifts from tarot and create an easier story. Like the first time I just read that spread, there was a story there for you. I just, I left it out and just did a clear-cut read for you because I had already read the story for 22 minutes and 23 seconds. And I was like, ooh, maybe it would stop at 222. Well, it never started. It didn't want to play. So it does suck when that happens. It is very irritating. But I am glad we have our tablecloth back. It's not even a tablecloth, it's a tapestry that was hanging above my bed. But I just was, fiending for it. I just wanted him back. My favorite tapestry in the whole wide world. Nothing will ever top this one. It'd be very fucking hard. And it just brings a lot of good vibes. It's alive. It's alive. So, and I hung the camera. So that makes that a little easier for you guys. And if you guys want to see my face, I can probably do the split screen. But I'm still going to have to figure that shit out. That was annoying. So, God, I had this one zit on the bottom of my chin, like in the middle of my chin. I feel since for a week, I have 3 zits. I get zits on me when I get my period, except I have hysterectomy, but I still have my ovaries. So I go through all the same experiences with swollen breasts, bloated, all the same shit, just no blood. So I've been picking at it every day for over a week. And it's I'm picking it to nothing. It's court, leave it alone. It's picking it to the very end of where you can't even get the skin. I can't stand when I do that. It drives me fucking bananas. But I'm doing it. I just thought I'd let you guys know. Because it will scar. It might just be a little scar. Eventually it will fade. But I know you ladies know what I'm talking about. And men, And I haven't done it in a long time. I usually leave my period pimples alone. I don't touch them because they usually don't form whiteheads or blackheads or, or sebaceous. Oh, you hear that? Let me try again. Haha, there it is. I really couldn't push out farts like that 3 times in a row. Just wouldn't be a thing for me. So, and I'm not even trying to fart these days at my age with what's going on with the medication I'm on, because I'm just not. I had a bad experience. I was like, oh my God. And ever since then, it was like within the last year, I was like, oh my God, I think that's what they call a shard. I'm like, I don't know. I think that's what it is, though. And you guys can laugh at me. It's fine. Let's bring a little laughter to this video. But so, yeah, I'm like super cautious passing gas now because of that one incident. So if I'm like in the car, I'm like, I'm not passing gas. Like, I don't know. Like, am I going to shit my pants? Like, is this a thing as we like get older? But guys, I'm only 47. I'm way too young for this shit. Like, that shit shouldn't be happening to me. But again, I probably shouldn't be pushing out a fart that hard either, where it turns into a schnard, whatever it's called, a shard. Fucking Lord, I don't know. So these conversations are just getting strange and stranger. So I'm just going to let you guys know, and I'm glad you got a good old laugh out of that. Oh, I did hear as we get older, like our bladder can fall right out of us too. I'm not looking forward to that. When some people laugh, they pee their pants. I'm like, oh my God, I hope that day never happens to me. But you could be standing there and your whole fucking bladder just, comes out of your little coochie. And it's like, oh, we all know what it feels for like men. It might be way too much TMI here. But it's like a clot or something that would come out. You know the feeling I'm talking about, guys. Placenta. Every woman has felt it. But could you imagine it just falling out as you're just like shooting the shit with somebody? And they have, and I forgot, when I went to go see my gastroenterologist, get this one, okay? When I went to go see her, she's like, well, you really need to do pelvic floor exercises because, the car accident, your body's very weak, your muscles are deteriorating, they're just, like, you should really do them. And I'm like, well, she's like, do you do like any Kegels or anything? I'm like, no, I only get to like a certain point, and then I'm like, I have to stop. I find it annoying. And she's like, they have this app. You put a device in you, and it's an app, and it's fun. I know I've mentioned it before. My friend Ange has one. She fucking loves it. She makes sure she gets her fucking Kegels and shit in. So it wasn't like, okay, sign me up. It was more like, Court, you should probably really do this because you'd already had a hysterectomy as well, and I don't do Kegels. So I'm like, okay. So this was like 6 months ago. And so I got a phone call yesterday that I missed some type of like physical therapy. And I'm like, no, that's not even where my physical therapy is. And they called me to like reschedule like an evaluation. And I'm like, what are they gonna fucking like open me up, like feel around like a gynecologist would? Like, I got no idea. But I think they put something inside of you for you to do Kegels to test your strength of your pelvic floor. I completely forgot I had this appointment, and I had it. I forget who was laughing. I think I had it on speakerphone, and somebody was like, are you seriously taking physical therapy for your pelvic area? And I'm like, yeah, I guess I am. Because you want to know the strength. I guess you just put it in, you leave it in for like 20 minutes. It's not the game one where you can watch the fishies jump or whatnot. That's a whole nother device that I still heard is like great for you. Because it's kind of like heavy, so you're using your muscles to kind of keep it in, Yeah, the yoni crystals you can put up there for strength as well. It's kind of the same concept. So I guess I have an appointment for pelvic floor exercises, and I'm going to test the strength of my pelvic floor. Who would have fucking thought only in like 2025 would this be a thing? But it makes sense. I mean, at least I'm preventing, my bladder from falling out, or, at least I got a heads up if my bladder is going to fall out. Like, it's a fucking real life thing. And it happens. I just choked on my water. It happens so much more than I think people even can wrap their head around that concept. Constantly fucking putting your bladder back. Like, what the fuck? Where do you buy a yoni crystal? You can just Google it and find it everywhere. But there's a really good one. I think it has something with fish or lizards. What's the device that's connected to your phone to do pelvic exercises? So like every time you do a Kegel, and it is an app, and every time you do like a Kegel, like a fish will swim, or it will tell you like, you're so close. You could actually drop crystals. You know what I mean? Like this chick had 102 fucking Kegels and she's not even halfway done. Fuck. I'd be exhausted. I'd be like, fuck this shit. So the toys I heard, it's not like a toy, like feel good toy, but like the one that, you simply put in, and it's not big, and it hangs out. You can pull it right out. It's not like super heavy, but it's supposed to have some weight to it, So you keep it in throughout the day and you just challenge yourself, and you can play with your friends and see who got more Kegels that day. Like the fucking technology, guys, right? So, you can do it sitting in the car, driving, clench. Yeah, I don't like doing them at all. I did a whole yoga class based on pelvic floor exercises. Well, that's good of you, Amy. That was very nice of you. Because I completely forgot I had an appointment to check the strength of my coochie area. It's like, okay. It's going to get so strong where I'm not even going to let that penis out. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. Gotta go a little longer. Don't really got a choice now, do you? Do you want me to release? It's imaginary, guys. Let's just laugh over silly things, I guess. I don't think I'm ever going to have a fucking grip down there like that. So not really trying to be, a weightlifter down there. Oh, you saw it bad having 2 kids. Yeah, they said that happens too, like each birth. And I did, each pregnancy, not even necessarily birth. So I had 4 that stretched out my pelvic area. Yeah, imagine if you had a tight ass grip like that. Where the fuck you going, buddy? Where you going? Right? Wouldn't that be fun? But anywho, there's that. And again, I'm like fucking exhausted. Peanut Butter's like, why are you up right now? So I will see you guys in the morning, and I'll do like a full spread or a short spread. I could do the whole deck, but I have a pack of cards that have been sitting next to that one that aren't open yet. I gotta start working with that one because each deck carries its own energy. So, yeah, good laughs. Good laughs. I might have to like put a warning sign up of like TMI downstairs chat. Good night, guys. I love you. And for those who are just waking up, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I love you guys. Stay positive with this read, okay? It's just something that it is what it is. And there's also a force of nature that also wants you to go in a certain direction too. So stay positive, okay? Amy, I'll be hitting you up for tips. I'm going to tell you what my strength is, and you can tell me whether or not, I don't know if you've ever done that, but like friends literally compete. Like the woman was telling me, my gastroenterologist was like, yeah, there's this game. People are fun. We have women in the issue that compete all day. Who does the most Kegels? And by the end of the week, whose strength is going to be stronger? And they have like a kiddie pool of like $5 each. Like all the staff, like, joins in the fucking party, Could you imagine just looking at your phone at work and being like, haha, I'm winning, right? So you want that info. Well, I just showed you online. There's all sorts of gizmos and gadgets. This one's called the New Generation. This one is called PeriFit Kegel exerciser. 4 installments of 35, 143. But if you play by yourself, you can make it into like any game you want, or you can watch your fish go like up and down, make sure they're swimming in different directions, depending on the strength. I think that's the one. I think that's like that brand that's like a better brand, but here's a better brand of them. But here's another one by the same company. That one looks like a little mini dildo, so I don't know how you feel about that one. But it's probably a lot heavier. And again, like I said, you can play games with it. Quote on future chats. Well, apparently, right? These are future cards. It has nothing to do with the past. The fortune cards, it foretells things that have not happened yet. So again, this deck is not up for interpretation like tarot. So they are kind of two completely different things for those who are not aware of it. It's not tarot. Right? So, yeah, just look up, Kegel exercisers. That I know that's supposed to be a really good brand, but I mean, they've been out for years. Like connecting to your phone is new, but then that also means that there's, things in there too that in order to connect to your phone, do you really want like a transmitter like testing, or do you want like that extra frequency like coming out of your coochie? Like, I don't know. It's kind of like, to me, is there anything like putting your phone in the back of your pocket? Like, not the greatest thing. Unless it's like highly protected by, the material that's being used to put inside of you. I guess you'd really have to do your research. And I know this is a big popular thing. So people who are like big on health nuts and things like that, like, not a bad thing at all. I'm just saying, like, if they're using them, then it's safe, The group of moms that, would never put anything in their crotch. God forbid, Those ones don't sound too fun. But anywho, I love you guys, and I will see you mañana. Bye, guys. Love you.